Thank you, Presiding Officer, and congratulations to Dave Thompson for giving us the opportunity to debate this important topic. And of course, as invited by Dave Stewart, I tell him that my wife and I were married in Bona Kirk in 1969, and my mother-in-law and my now wife lived at Loch End, a mere 400, 500 metres from Bona Lighthouse. And indeed, that contributed, the canal did, to the good eating in the Perry household, because whenever a fishing boat came through, my mother-in-law used to dash up and persuade the fishermen to provide her with some free fish, which was excellent nutrition. I'm delighted to hear that Mr Thompson will be meeting Andrew Thinn shortly. Give him my regards. He was always one of the most effective public appointments to a chair, and I'm delighted to hear of his continuing contribution. Jamie McGregor said that the canal is the only canal with its own monster. Well, that's almost certainly true. Interesting little footnote to that is there's been 1,000 new species of marine animals discovered in the last 12 months alone. And given that this is the deepest, longest, biggest body of water, in fact, in aggregate, it exceeds the sum of all bodies of water in the UK, there is plenty of space for even large animals to yet be discovered if we but turn our minds to it. Now, of course, we've heard the canal led the world for 100 years. It, of course, was not the earliest canal by any manner of means. In my constituency, for example, the St Fergus and North Ugie Canal it was provided. It never seems to have delivered very much, I have to say, and all sign of it has disappeared. The canal also had a broader context. Thomas Telford undertook something that we now think of as a modern invention, which was a master plan of transport in the Highlands, which included revising parts of the Crinan Canal, building 920 miles of new roads, building over 1,000 new bridges, and, critically to my constituents, improving the harbours at Peterhead and at Banff. So it was part of a programme of public works which benefited the Highlands, created employment, but by creating new infrastructure, laid the future for important developments, which we continue to exploit today through tourism. And of course, Thomas Telford, who came from the borders, from Dumfriesshire, in founding the Institution of Civil Engineers in 1818 and being its first president, contributed to the intellectual life of Scotland as well. And he was recognised as a very effective poet. So to be an engineer is not to disconnect you from the world of the arts. The canal itself, of course, remains a very significant part of our infrastructure, 29 locks, and, as we've heard, an important part of our defence infrastructure. Indeed, the parliamentary debates that preceded the passing of the Act on the 27th of July 1803 majored in providing the then wooden ships that we had with protection from Napoleon's marauders around the coasts of Scotland. That's one of the reasons, of course, the defeat of Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo, why work on the canal slowed down a bit, because once Napoleon was defeated, some of the urgency appears to have gone out of the construction of the canal. I want to just close by saying that, of course, the least remembered loch of the canal, Loch Dofur, the smallest one, is the one on the shores of which, in the adjacent market gardens, my mother-in-law used to work. So I have a wheen of connections with this canal, which I'm delighted to bring to your attention. And as for the brand seer, poor soul, burnt in oil at Shannonry Point, in sight across the firth of the entrance of the canal. I very much congratulate Mr Thompson, Presiding Officer.